Okay, this video is one of a sequence of videos helping people to transition from communicating with email to communicating through Teams for internal communications within departments or other teams within the school. Okay, so this video is going to focus on how to post messages in different channels, and it's got 7 little tips that if you stick to, it'll make everything very smooth and everything will work very well. So if I just switch to showing you the science team, for instance, so you'll know by now, hopefully, that teams are broken down into channels. And rule number 1 when you post things is post to the right channel. So, for instance, the science team has got a Year 8 curriculum channel, and in it should go any messages that are about teaching Year 8. If you don't have a channel that is dedicated to whatever it is you're discussing, there is a general channel for anything that doesn't fall under any other topic areas. So rule 1, post to the right channel. Right, rule number 2 is if you are going to reply to somebody's post, make sure you stick to topic. So for instance, here is a post that Jamie has started about a Year 8 test. All of the replies below really ought to be about the Year 8 test. If you are in the middle of your reply and you feel like you need to go off on a tangent and talk about something different, then you need to stop typing and send the bit of the reply that you've already done, and then you need to start a new post about a new topic so that all replies are about the original post. So rule 2, don't go off at tangents in replies. Rule number 3, when you are going to type, either by replying to an existing thread or by clicking the new conversation button to start your own thread, before you touch the keyboard and you start typing, make sure you click on this little A button here. That A button will open up into a bigger window, and that will allow 2 main things to happen. The first is that you get access to a formatting bar so that you can make your text rich and make it stand out and look generally more professional. And the second thing that it does is that it changes the action of the enter key on the keyboard. If you don't press the A button, then whenever you press the enter, instead of you getting a new line, what you're going to get is your message sent in the middle of a sentence often, which is very annoying. So always press the A button before you start typing. And as soon as you do press the A button, we get onto rule number 4, always add a subject. So you can see in this message above here that Jamie's message has actually got a title to it. All of these messages have got titles to them, and this is just like when you send an email and you put a subject line before you start typing the body of the email to let people know what the message is about. So make sure that you always add a subject to your message. That's rule 4. Rule 5, I'm going to do a separate video about notifications, which are equivalent to kind of your inbox in email. So watch that video. But what I will say now is that unless you explicitly address a message to someone, although all of these messages are public and they might see the message, they might not. So you can see up here that in this message that I sent here, I have addressed it to all of the Year 8 team. If I wanted to address it, I don't know, Jamie was in one of these messages. If I wanted to address it to just Jamie, I could. You always start it with @ like in other social media apps, and you get a list of everyone in your team, or you can start typing their staff code and it'll suggest them and then just press enter, or you can start typing their name and it will suggest them, and again, just press enter. Now, when I send this message, Jamie will get an explicit notification that there is a message that I've sent and he's mentioned in it. This is the safest way to make sure that people see your messages, and it is just like addressing an email to somebody when you send your emails. If you don't mention somebody in the email, it depends on whether they have set up their notifications to see the messages. Now that's their personal choice, but you can force the issue by explicitly addressing it to them. So if you're just sending out a message that you would like people to see, but it's not essential that they see it, and you're willing to let them make the decision on where they've placed their notifications for whether or not they see it, then you can not @mention people, but if it's a central message and people need to see it, then you do need to @mention their name. It's a little bit formal, Jamie Downing, so if you just press the backspace once, it takes out their surname and then you can type. You can either leave it at the top of the message like that and then start typing underneath, or you could type your message and then just put somebody's name in it in the middle of a sentence, just like you would when typing an email normally. Either way, they'll get the notification. So that's rule number 5, @mention anyone that you need to see the message. Number 6, you can attach files just like you do when you attach them in an email. You get the paperclip and it says that you can either upload it or you can go find a file that is already present either in your personal OneDrive or in the team. The team's got its own shared OneDrive area as well. Now, if you don't use OneDrive at all, then you might as well just upload, because you'll go fetch it from wherever you've got it. And when it uploads it, it actually uploads a copy of it to your OneDrive or the team drive. And then everyone just clicks on it and they get it. And it's just like attaching a file to an email then. However, if you are using your OneDrive or you're using the team OneDrive to hold your files, then you might want to stay organized. So you're probably already storing your files there, and in which case you just want to click on the go find it. And so you click on that, and here are all of the year 8 files that we've got for our curriculum area. So if I wanted to attach a particular file, I could just click on that, and then it says, would I like to upload a copy? Well, I don't need to because it's already there. I just share a link instead, and then again it's attached to the message, but it hasn't uploaded a separate copy. It's just attached a link to the copy that's already there in the year 8 area of the Science OneDrive. If you're not using OneDrive, it really doesn't matter. You can attach or you can upload it. It doesn't matter. But if you are using OneDrive, then it's better to share a link rather than to upload a new version of it. And finally, rule number 7, all of these messages are going to be public messages. That's the power of Teams, that 2 or 3 people can be having a conversation, but other members of the team can eavesdrop on it and maybe contribute if they feel they need to, or you can @mention someone in a reply a couple of messages down, in which case you can drag a new person into the conversation that wasn't in it originally. So public messages is the power of Teams compared to email. But if it truly is a private conversation and you don't need to be bothering the rest of the team about it, if it really is only relevant to one other person, then over here on the chat window, you can click chat. And when you do that, you get some messages that are basically just like WhatsApp. And it really is just communications between one person and another person. Occasionally you can create groups as well, just like you can in WhatsApp. So here's a channel in which case we are 3 of us sharing a class, so we're discussing what's going on in that class. But generally speaking, most messages that you send are going to be in the team, I guess. Just remember that if you do use the chat function, and I do use it all the time to communicate with my colleagues, it isn't WhatsApp, it is a professional communication, so try and keep the tone at a professional level, but it behaves just like WhatsApp, and it's a really good way to communicate with the team. You can also, when you're in the chat console, hit the video button up here and just have a quick video call with people. So hopefully you found that useful. And what I would suggest that you do is when you're first transitioning from email to Teams, I would watch this video back every couple of weeks for the first month or so, just to make sure that you are doing all of the things you should do and avoiding the things you shouldn't do, and just do that until it is all automatic, at which point you have transitioned. Well done to you.